They dragged her across the gravel like she was nothing. Boots scraping, elbows digging into her ribs as the floodlights buzzed overhead, casting long shadows that made the place feel colder than it already was. The new recruit did an N-39T scream. She did an N-39T beg. Her name on the roster said Emily Carter, 26 years old, average height, quiet, no visible combat medals, no loud confidence. To them, she looked like an easy target. Private Logan Reeves laughed under his breath as he shoved her forward while Mark Dalton and Ethan Brooks circled like wolves, their voices dripping with cruelty masked as initiation. This was her favorite game, break the quiet ones early. Emily and number 39's hands were bound behind her back. Not tight enough to cut circulation, just tight enough to humiliate. She stumbled once, catching herself before falling. Her eyes scanning the area, not with fear, but calculation. The air carried a smell most people would miss. Wet fur, old meat, iron. She recognized it instantly. The K9 pens. Logan leaned in close and hissed. You Don and number 39T belong here, Carter. Time to learn your place. The gate loomed ahead. Metal bar scarred with bite marks, claw gouges, dried mud. Inside, something moved. Low, heavy breathing. A deep resonant growl rolled out like distant thunder. Dalton smirked. Star for 3 days, he said casually. They say this one docen and #39T hesitate. Ethan added the words meant to finish her. Die now be asterisk. The gate creaked open and they shoved her inside, slamming it shut behind her with a metallic finality. The growl grew louder. From the shadows emerged a massive K9, muscles coiled, scars lining its muzzle, eyes locked onto her. Any normal recruit would have panicked. Any normal person would have screamed. Emily Carter slowly straightened her back, testing the dirt beneath her boots. Her breathing steady, she tilted her head slightly, softening her eyes, lowering her center of gravity, not in submission but familiarity. The dog froze. Its hackles were raised, teeth bared. Yet something in her presence disrupted the expected outcome. Outside the pan, laughter erupted. 5 seconds, Logan said. That and number 39's all she gets. Inside, Emily spoke for the first time, her voice calm, low, precise, not English. A sequence of controlled sounds, clip commands woven with reassurance. The dog and number 39's ears twitched. Confusion rippled through its posture. She took one careful step forward, then another, never breaking eye contact, her tone never rising. The dog lunged, then stopped short, skidding in the dirt, nose flaring as it caught her scent fully. Recognition sparked. The growl died mid-throat. The massive animal lowered its head slightly, tail flicking once. Outside the pen, the laughter faltered. Mark frowned. What the hell? Emily dropped to one knee despite the bound hands, exposing her neck in a calculated risk, speaking again, this time softer, layered with a familiar cadence only one person had ever used with that animal. The dog approached slowly, sniffed her cheek, then pressed its forehead against her chest with a low whine that sounded nothing like aggression. Silence crashed over the yard. Logan stepped back from the fence. That and number 39's not possible. Emily closed her eyes briefly, resting her forehead against the dog's, grounding herself. Memories flooding back. Months of training, injuries, trust built in blood and discipline. She opened her eyes and looked straight through the bars at them. And Quat, his name is Rex, and Quat, she said evenly. And Quat, and you just made a very serious mistake. And Quat. The gate rattled as Rex sat protectively in front of her, blocking any angle of attack, eyes now burning with warning. The men outside didn't N-39T laugh anymore. They stared, realizing too late that this wasn't an N-39T a helpless recruit. They had thrown into a pin, but someone who knew exactly how to survive in it. As alarms began to echo faintly in the distance, Emily and number 39's voice cut through the tension one last time, controlled and cold. Remember this moment, she said, because everything changes after it. The yard never fully recovered its noise. Even after the distant alarms faded into nothing, and the floodlights hummed back into their dull rhythm. Something heavy lingered in the air. Like everyone present knew they and number 39's crossed a line they couldn't and #39T uncross. Emily remained inside the pen, calm, breathing slow. Rex planted in front of her like a living wall. His muscles were still tense, eyes tracking every movement beyond the bars. Logan and number 39's bravado evaporated first. He tried to laugh, tried to turn into a joke, but the sound came out thin and hollow. And quat, this is some kind of trick, and quat, he muttered, more for himself than anyone else. Mark Dalton avoided Emily and number 39's gaze entirely. Suddenly fascinated by the dirt of his boots, Ethan Brooks took a step back, hands raised slightly as if the dog might leap through steel and consequences alike. Emily finally stood, brushing dust from her knees, her voice level and unmistakably controlled. And quat, open the gate, and quat, she said. And quat, not a request, not a threat, a command. And quat, Rex shifted at her side, waiting for her signal, trusting her completely. That trust cut deeper than any accusation ever could. The gate didn't and #39's open immediately. It took a few seconds, a few exchanged looks, a few realizations slamming into place. Whatever they thought they were doing tonight, whatever cruel game they believed they controlled, had just reversed direction. When the gate finally creaked open, Emily stepped out first. Rex glued to her leg, his posture no longer aggressive, but unmistakably protective. She stopped a few feet from them, eyes scanning each face, cataloging every expression. Fear, shame, denial. She spoke quietly, forcing them to lean in to hear. And quat, you wanted to teach me my place, and quat, she said. And quat, here in number 39's the lesson. You never assume someone in number 39's limits just because they don in number 39's advertise their strength. And quat, Logan opened his mouth to protest, but Rex let out a low warning growl that shut him up instantly. Emily didn't and #39's even glanced down. One subtle hand signal and the dog fell silent, eyes never leaving Logan and number 39's. Rex was assigned to me long before any of you knew my name, and quat, she continued. And quat, I trained him when he wouldn't and #39's respond to anyone else. I handled him when everyone else backed away, and you thought starving him and throwing me inside would end well for you. And quat, the words weren't and #39's loud, but they landed hard. Footsteps echoed from the far end of the yard. Others drawn by the earlier commotion. Faces appeared, confusion turning to shock as they took in the scene. The notorious K9 sitting calmly beside the so-called new recruit. The usual instigators suddenly small and silent. Emily took a breath, steadying herself. Not from fear, but from anger she refused to let control her. And quat, this ISN and #39's about revenge, and quat, she said. It and number 39's about accountability. She knelt and checked Rex quickly, fingers moving with practiced care, whispering reassurance only he could hear. He licked her hand once, tail thumping softly against the dirt. The contrast was impossible to ignore. When she stood again, her voice carried farther. What you did tonight could have gotten someone killed. Not me. I knew how to survive that pen. But the next person you decide to test might not. Logan finally broke, anger bubbling up to mask his panic. And quat, you think this makes you special? And quat, he snapped. Emily met his glare without flinching. And quat, no, and quat, she said. And quat, it makes me responsible. And quat, silence followed, heavy and uncomfortable. And quat, no punches, no shouting, just the slow, crushing realization that the power dynamic had shifted, and it wasn't an #39's shifting back. And quat, later, as the yard cleared and Rex was led away calmly at Emily and number 39's side, whispers followed them like shadows. The story would spread, mutate, exaggerate, but the core truth would remain. The quiet recruit wasn't an #39's weak, and the dog wasn't an #39's a weapon to be abused. At the gate, Emily paused, looking back once. And quat, remember, and quat, she said softly. And quat, strength docent and #39's need permission to exist. And quat, Rex glanced back too, eyes sharp as if daring anyone to forget. If this story moved you, Don and number 39's forget to subscribe to Grow for Justice, because stories like this remind us why fairness, respect, accountability matter. And there are many more powerful stories still too.